Hello, this is Sandy from Doux Designs. Super excited to be crafting with you guys tonight. Just going to give it a couple of minutes for everybody to join in. It usually takes a few minutes. We are going to use the new release tonight because it released yesterday. I'm going to use both stamp sets tonight and the paper pad. And we're also going to use some of these distress sprays and mica sprays for the background. So stay tuned for that here in a little bit. I've already made all of the masking for all of the characters. I won't need them all tonight, but I already made them, so in the future I won't have to worry about it. So we will be using these three plus the microphone. So when you jump on, make sure that you say hi so I can see who's here with me. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I chose this. This is one of the background papers. I chose this side and a blue card base. So the Copic colors will be chosen based on those two colors. So this is the new paper pad, and I chose this one right here. So that's the one we're going to use tonight. And then the stamp sets are these two new stamp sets, and we are going to use this one, and this one, and this one, and maybe the music notes. We'll just have to see. Hey, Beth, how are you? So I'm going to go ahead and get started because we have to mask, and we have to color, and we have to use the mica sprays, distress sprays. So we have quite a bit going on. So I've decided I want to build a scene. The microphone is going to be the first thing that you see. So when you're building a scene, you need to stamp what's going to be forward first. And then what will be behind, you'll do after. So I'm going to start off with the microphone. And I am going to use Memento Black for this crafty project here. And we're going to mask as we go so that we can cover things up and just keep going. So here's the first one. And I'm going to use this. You're ready for some card making? This is going to be super fun. But this is going to be how to build it out of all your stuff. And building a background and everything. Everything. It's the whole card tonight. The whole project. So I have to clean off the stamps as we go because I have to remove them from here to put the next one on. Ooh, I got something in my eye. Struggling a little with that. All right, so I'm going to be putting these back as we finish so they don't get lost because, you know, that's what happens to me all the time is I lose a stamp and then I don't find it for like a year. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to stick these back on the packages when I finish with them. Now here is the mask I did for the microphone. And my nails are way too long. So we're going to use tweezers to remove the backing of the mask. Masking tape, if you will. So I get mine. You can get a lot of different kinds of masking tape. I really like this one because I can use it over and over again, which I'm pretty sure is kind of a standard for all masking tape. I'm not sure it really matters one over the other, but you definitely don't want it to be too sticky because if it's too sticky, it'll rip your paper when it's coming up. I use this one. It's Gina K. Masking Magic Sheets. So that's the one I use, and I use every bit of it. So again, I don't waste any of it. So I save tiny pieces. So when you cut out the mask, you want to make sure you cut on the black line so you're not covering so you're not covering any of the white outside of the black line. So I want to make sure this all, I think I'm down a little bit too low, so I got to move it up just a tad. There we go. Let's try to get this microphone on here. Maybe we'll try the microphone first. That might be more important. There we go. And then I'm just going to hold this down as I go. This is probably one of the most challenging ones to put on there because it's so skinny. Well, except maybe the drum set. That one's going to be pretty challenging as well. And I got that crooked, so I want to make sure I straighten that out, just so I don't have any white spaces left on there. I'm tired. I've tried this one. I love it too. Oh, really? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Next, I want to do the elephant because the elephant is singing in front of the ones playing the guitars. So I'm going to place the elephant where the microphone would be really close to the elephant's trunk, mouth, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to stamp her next. So we're just going in the order that we want the images to look. Which one, the ones that are in the front we stamp first, and then as we go back, it's whatever's in the back. So you won't see all of the pieces that you stamp later. So you won't see a little bit of the ear of the elephant because it's going to be hidden with the microphone. So there is our precious elephant. Now I'm going to wipe that stamp so I can put the next one on there. This is like just steps at a time, whichever way you want to do it. I tried the Stampin' Up kind, but it rips my paper. Oh yeah, see, I don't want that to happen to me. So, I try to test it first, and then when I find one that works really good, that's the one I use, because it is not fun to have your paper rip after you've done all this work to line up all this stamp set. So we're missing a few people tonight. It's just me and you, Beth. I'm okay with that. At least somebody's here. They'll watch the replay on YouTube, and that'll help our YouTube channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. All right, here's our little elephant. I got a little bit outside the lines when I was stamping that one. Do you see it? It's right here. That's unfortunate, but I think the background we're going to create is going to cover that up, so it'll be okay. Normally, I would use like a sand eraser, but because we're going to spray ink over it, I don't want to. If you leave a raw spot right there where you use the sand eraser, then what happens is it shows up more there and it's darker. So it'll kind of mess it up. My two favorite nights of the week. Oh, yay! Tuesday and Thursday. Me too, me too. Okay, I'm going to put, this is my little saxophone player. And depending on how much you want to color is how much you could hide. You could hide it a lot. You could hide it a little. I'm going to put it just way back here. But so we can at least see the face. I definitely want to see the face. But you're not going to technically see the saxophone. And that's okay. Because we can use it another time where you do see the saxophone. So here's our little tiger. This little tiger is so cute. His little eyes are closed. He's having a great time playing his little saxophone. I really like saxophones. I think they're pretty neat. I missed inking it a little bit right there, or maybe I just missed pressing it. Let's just see if that gets better. There we go. That's better, but it's still pretty light right here, and that's pretty close to where the masking tape is, because the masking tape is getting layered pretty good. So instead of the easy touch I do with this tool on top of it. I'm going to do it just a little bit with a little bit of pressure since it's trying to go over the masking tape. Okay, so now we have our little tiger on there. And it's really cool when we take all the masking off. That's what makes this really neat. I'm gonna spray my towel again so it wipes off the ink pretty quick. There goes our tiger. So the tiger goes back on the Rock On set. I should have the new release by Saturday, but maybe as early as tomorrow. I know it might. We mailed them right away, so hopefully you'll get them super quick. That's why I did the So Complex one tonight, because most people probably won't have theirs yet. And if you want to color along, you probably want it when we're doing it just a little bit less detailed, where you can watch this replay on YouTube to catch up with this. So that's why I chose to do this particular one tonight. And I really want to get back to doing some speed coloring videos real soon. So hopefully. All right, now we're going to cover this one up. Because we're going to do the background before we color the images, so I'm going to keep covering up. That way I don't have to take them off and put them back on. Otherwise I'd have to take them off, color it, put them back on, and then spray it. But I think we're going to spray first. I don't think it really matters technically which one you want to do. I'm off just a little because we're spraying the background. I want to make sure I get this laid down just exactly right. So it takes a second to line it up just because you want to be more exact than you normally would have to be. Now I'm going to put him down a little bit and over, so some of his guitar you won't see, but he looks so happy that he could be singing as well. So I'm going to put him a little bit closer to the microphone. I mean, they're all singing, so, you know, it's okay. Did I get him on there crooked? I did. Wow, I'm glad I saw that. Thank goodness for the grid on your Misty. So there's a grid, if you can see it, on the Misty. When I lift it up, you can see it. And I could tell he wasn't standing on a straight line. So I was like, oh no, he's crooked. But he's pretty straight now, still just a tad bit crooked. Not that it would really matter because he's jamming out, so it doesn't really matter technically, but for appearance sake, I don't want to show you an all crooked up project. So there we go. This one we just have to press a little harder where all the masking tape is, but the rest of it's super easy. Yep, it didn't. It's the guitar piece. There it goes. So just a little bit of pressure, and it's only because it's not even because we have all that masking tape on there. So you have to do just a little bit more pressure, but it doesn't hurt your hand or anything. So it's not a big deal. All right, I'm gonna put this one back on here. Hey Cheryl, you made it just in time for, we're gonna spray Distress and mica sprays over this for background. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is our little scene. And I'm going to use music notes, but I'm going to stamp them afterwards with the VersaFine Clair because it's darker. And I think that'll make it easier. Oh, we can't forget to put this little guy on. We got to put this on top or he's going to be one spotted, sprayed up little dude. That top part. And put his little feet down. And his little tail. And I cut all of these right before the video just because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to cut it on the video. And I will tell you, they're super easy to cut, except for this one. this one is a bit more challenging to cut because you have to cut all the in between when he's playing the drums. So keep that in mind. All the other ones, super easy. No challenge there, just super easy. Okay, now this is going to be my little scene. And it currently has masking tape all over it. I'm going to move these out of the way because I'm going to spray, and I don't want to spray like the wrong thing. So I usually take these ones I haven't used and I just drop them into my stamp holder here, just so I always have them. The ones that I used, I'll stick them right on top of that when we're done doing it. Okay, so I have this box that I got from Tim Holtz. It's called a Splat box for sprays, paints, and more. And you can stand it up and spray this way, but I'm gonna lay it down just so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. And then I pulled several of the sprays that I have. I have some spray stain, distress spray stain. I have saltwater taffy, which is kind of a really pale pink. This is the color of the background that we're going to use as the border. It's a pale pink, so I don't know that it's really going to match too awful much, but we're going to try it anyway. So that's that one. We're going to use that one, and I have never used it before, so I have to open it. So it has this little plastic thing on it. It's a new one for me. And the spray stain is a new product for me. I've done a little bit with the oxides, but never with the spray stain. So we're gonna learn together what it looks like and how it works and how easy it is to use. So bear with me while I get these. I did not pull these off. This is what I'm struggling with off camera. My nails are too long and I can't get the plastic off. So by the way, the plastic is on there really, really good. If Dale was out here, I'd be having him take this stuff off for me. But you guys know he is playing video games tonight. So he is not out here crafting with us. All the other ones that I have are already open. So this was the only one I had to open. And I think just to check the colors, I also have this blue called Uncharted Mariner, which I think is going to be a little bit different blue than that. And then this one is the Winterberry, but it has mica in it. See the mica in the bottom? So you have to shake it really, really, really good to get that. Otherwise, the mica doesn't spray out. I usually have Dale do this as well, but being that he isn't out here, he can't shake them for me. But see how it's starting to break that up and you don't have that big chunk of mica at the bottom? That's what gets it all mixed up in here. So when you spray it, you can see the sparkle. And then I also grabbed silver and gold, or to be exact, I grabbed tarnished brass and iron gate. And I'll use those as a topper just to give it a little bit of shine, unless I decide to spray a clear over top. It just depends on how dark it looks when we spray it with the other colors. And I have no idea what this is going to look like. Just going to hope it works out, because I did not pre-test this. I did not pre-play. So I don't know. But I am going to do one test, which is this saltwater. I want to see what this looks like before I actually spray it on that paper. So I'm just gonna spray one first. So you really, I mean, literally it's all about just spraying it. That's it. You just spray it. So this one is the distress spray. So it's not gonna have that soft feel like the oxides are. And then this is the same thing, but in blue. So you can spray them however you want. See how that kind of works out. But once you add the mica sprays, This one is the Winterberry. Once you add the mica sprays, you'll see the sparkle. And I'll show you in just a minute. As soon as it dries, like you can see the shine and sparkle from the Winterberry. Can you see it all right in here? So depending on how much you spray, there's also, I have the gold or tarnished, whatever I called it. So there's that one. It's not very dark. It's very, very light. So I guess we can use that one too. But look, when we turn it to the side, you see that like little bit of gold in there. And I think I want the silver too. We'll just do gold and silver. This one, I have to be careful with it. Sprays really, really hard. It's supposed to be silver, but it's called Iron Gate. So it kind of looks like a black. So I may leave that one off. The Iron Gate. We'll do the other 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our image. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready? Eek! Okay, we're going to put that down. I think I'm going to spray the blue first because it's the darkest one. And we want to kind of lighten it up just a tad with the other colors. This may not go with that paper, but if it doesn't, that's okay. We can always pick a different paper. There we go. So we have a little bit on there. It's going to resist where all that masking tape is. This one is Saltwater Taffy. And some of it I'm spraying off the paper because I don't want it to be too dominant since we have the mica one. I like this one. It's a little bit darker spray. So I'm going to do this one kind of more in the center and away from the edges. And then we have one more. I'm kind of trying to let it dry a little bit in between just because I don't want it to get too wet. And I'm holding it pretty far away from the paper. I'm going to actually take a napkin. Have we ever done this before? I can't remember if we did or not. I'm just going to touch this on top of the masking tape, not the rest of it, just because it's bubbling up on the masking tape. There we go. So I'm going to take this out. The paper is a bit wet. So we may have to either heat set it or wait a little bit before we color it all up. But I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the excess water just because I don't want it to take too long to dry. So I just use a little napkin here. Da-da-da-da. Want to see what it looks like? My 2 friends. That's super cool. So when I turn it, I want you to be able to see like the shiny, shiny. When I move it, see the shiny part? It's so pretty. It is a little bit damp. You can tell just by looking at it that it's a little flimsy. So probably want that to dry a bit. This one we sprayed first and still feels a little damp. So I'm probably going to use my heat tool. So if you don't like to hear the heat tool, I will put my finger up like this right before I start. And then when I'm done, I'll put 2 fingers up. That way, if you want to mute me while I'm heat tooling, you can, because I know that can be really loud. So I'm about to turn it on. Oh, no, I'm not. It's not plugged in. Guess I can't do it if it's not plugged in. How'd you like that? That was kind of funny. Oh, there it goes. All right, we're on number 1. The paper curls, you want to turn it back over and do it on the other side so you can flatten the paper. Okay, 2. so now our heat tool is off. We're not going to use it again, so we're good. It's pretty dry now. Super cute with some shiny. I like the soft colors of this. I think they're really pretty. I am going to wait just a little bit, but we are going to put music notes around here with the music note stamps that we have. And I haven't decided if I'm going to use black or this blue color, which is pretty dark in itself. But because we have quite a bit of coloring, we're going to go ahead and get started. So in order to do that, we have to actually peel off and reveal our little scene. So here we go. Eek! I'm excited. So I'm going to peel them up in the order opposite the order I laid them down. So whatever I put down last, I'm going to pull up first. And I'm going to be kind of careful because I want to use this again. I mean, oh my goodness, how cool is this? It's almost cool all by itself. Look at how much it stands out. It's really neat. Okay, so this is what I do with this. You can use this again. You can stamp over it. You can do whatever. So I just stick them right on top. That way you can see them. Now we're going to go for this guy. And I will peel this one up. If you peel them in the other order, you'll rip them as you pull them up and then you can't use them again. So I like to get the most bang for my buck. So I want to be able to do that. So that's it for this stamp set. The other ones are on the other stamp set. So I'm going to pull that out. There we go. Next is the cute little elephant here. And I'm going to be careful when I do over the microphone. See how they're layered up? This one's in front, that one's in back. That's how it works. So I layered them the right way. And then the microphone. Ta-da! So now, I'll put that one on there. And then I'll put this back and we'll be ready for coloring. I'm going to try and use repeated colors so that I don't have to pull like a whole bunch of markers out. So we may duplicate some colors in a different fashion. This is actually going to work, I think, even though it technically wasn't really what I thought. I still think for a border, this will be kind of cool because you'll get all the colors around the border. So I think we'll still use that. All right, let's get to coloring. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm going to zoom in real quick just to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So we have a gator, a tiger, and an elephant. So right now, let's start with the tongues. They're all going to be the same, so we might as well do them now. So I'm going to use RV34, and I'm just going to color from the back of their mouth and leave the front open for a lighter color. So there we go. And then same with this one, leaving a little bit in the front. And then same with this one. I think I kind of touched his lip, but that's okay. I just refilled my colorless blender so I can move that around super easy. RV21, and I'm going to turn it around because I'm going to start from the other end and kind of push back into that color like that. And I'm going to do that on all of them. That way it keeps the dark in the back and the light in the front. There we go. Oh, I think my husband's gaming with my kids. I can hear my children's voices. This is the colorless blender, and I'm just going to push that color like back into his tongue. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that takes care of their tongues. Aren't their tongues cute? Where's all the people tonight? I can't believe they're not on tonight. I know. You know, it's crazy, but Thursdays, I don't know what it is about Thursdays, but there are not a lot of people out on the internet playing around with us on Thursday nights. Tuesdays are always busier. I don't know why, but it just is. We have noticed that. My husband was like, why don't you just cut down to one night? I was like, I don't want to do that. So let's do our elephant first because she's super simple. She's going to be, let's see. I think I'm going to use the ends for her because we don't use the ends quite as often. Do you play games as well? I do not. I mean, I played The Sims back in the day, and I sometimes play like a game on my phone every now and then. I get into it for a little while and then I'm done. But most of the time, I'm so busy, I don't really have time to put forth to playing games. I'm a crafting, so I'm not a gamer. I think it's cool and the kids love it, but to me it's very complex. And I'm like, I don't want to learn all of the different crazy stuff that you have to learn. I'm going to use R12 for the inside of her ears. Or maybe R11. Yeah, let's use R11. And then I'm going to use N6, N4, N3, N2, N1, R11 for our cute little elephant here. Please, no, please don't. Dare you go play your games. Yeah, he likes to play the games. My daughter's a gamer, my son's a gamer. They're all gamers, but I'm not. Yeah, I can hear my daughter talking. But they talked about it a lot when we were away for the wedding, and they talked about a game, and Dale's been trying to catch up so we can play with them. I'm a crafter 100%. Me too. I mean, me too. Absolutely. I mean, I literally sit in this chair in my craft room like the whole time I'm awake. And if I'm not like working my regular job, then I am crafting something. Something. Always something. Crafting, drawing, whatever. Something. I'm always doing something. So I'm going around and putting kind of a lot of dark around the bottom of the little elephant's ears. I don't generally do that. I like the elephant to be really, really light colored. But in this case, because the background is so light, I want to have that really dominant, darker color. I think in the end she's going to end up being lighter, but I want that shadow area to be a little bit bigger than normal, just for that reason. So that might explain why I'm doing it just slightly different than I normally do. I'm going to go around the toes. We might give her toenail color to match her dress whenever we decide what color we're doing her dress. Or we might not. Who knows? You know how that goes. We never know for sure. Okay, I'm going to put, I like the darkest color inside the mouth of whatever skin colors you're using. I like the darkest to be at the top so that it looks like there's a lot of shadow going on in there. So when it's people, it's the EO4 or the RV95 or whatever the darkest shade, E13, whatever darkest shade I've chosen. And when it's an animal, it's whatever the darkest skin color for the animal is. I'm going to go around the top just a little bit because, you know, there would be some bright lights on these guys who are on stage. Think about how cute these would look with that new paper. You could use the stage. But I didn't want to do the same thing that we did with the K-pop. So I decided to just build a background differently this time. My craft room about 6 hours. That's a lot for me. Now I'm still in my wheelchair because I can't walk very well. Let me see if I can see the rest of that comment. Hold on. There, but not yet. Oh, okay. You're getting there, but not yet. Yep. I get up, shower, get ready, come out here and sit in my craft room chair, and I only get up to go to the restroom and to get a drink. And if I have to go anywhere, I'll go. But other than that, I'm in this chair. The TV's out here. I watch TV out here. I craft out here. I hang out here. Just pretty much don't leave this room much. Dale's usually out here after he gets off work, but sometimes he goes in there for frequent stops to game a little bit. I skipped N5 because I kind of felt like I didn't want it to be too dark. And I was a little worried that it might be too big of a jump to N4. I think we're doing okay, but if we needed to go back, we could. All right, we're going to start doing some pink on the inside of that ear, but for right now, we're just going to be adding this around the outside to get that shadow color in there. And then around the face, down a little bit further than where we stopped before, extending this down a little bit as well. So I'm going to turn it around so I can get a little bit more brush stroke going on here. There we go. I do love crafting, and if I don't have anything to craft, then I'm coloring something, because coloring is my favorite. So sometimes, even if I only have a little bit of time, I'll color a little bit of something just to get some coloring in every day. I just love it. And that's what I did when I learned to color. I would just color a little bit for at least 15 minutes every single day for like a year and a half until I got like really experienced in coloring. So I'm extending from these. I'm going to go around those little nails. This is all in shadow, so it can stay a little bit darker. What is your favorite thing to color, Cheryl? And then I want to know Beth, too. And I don't know who the third person is that's hanging out with us because they're not talking. It's just Beth and Cheryl talking to me. Don't know who the last one is, but I do want to know, what is your favorite thing to color? I'm just going to pause there and wait for you guys to have a chance to type out what your favorite thing to color is. And do you like animals? Do you like people? Do you like hair, eyes? You know, just kind of whatever you like. Oh, hey, Ellen. She's like, oh, sorry. I'm the one lingering in the background. Right now, catching up with my scrapbooks. I still have 4 more. Then I can do whatever. Oh, I'm actually in the middle of a scrapbook, too. I know it seems like, when do I have time? Okay, now Beth, your turn. What's your favorite thing to color? Where's the other Beth? We only have one of the things here today. That's hard. You like animals? I like animals. I like to color everything, but I'll tell you what my very favorite thing is once I get everyone else's. So, Ellen, what's your favorite thing to color? I like to color people the most and then some animals. Okay, there you go. See, I knew you would like it. I knew you would have an idea, Cheryl. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That is why you were asking for more people last night. I have so many people ideas. So many. It's just, right now, though, I keep running into trying to get some animals done. So we'll see when the people come. But there are people coming. Don't you worry. There will be plenty of people. Flowers. Ellen likes flowers. And that's funny because I was going to say, like, I'm not a big flower person. I like to color anything that doesn't have to be a specific color. Does that make sense? It's kind of a strange answer, but I like to do like a mandala or a, something that doesn't have to be a traditional color. Like I'm not trying to match a gray or a red or whatever. I like the things that I can make them whatever color I feel like it. Love to color, so I'm happy whenever I can do it. Yes, me too, Beth. Whenever I can color, coloring is my favorite. I mean, just check out my tattoo on my arm. It is a picture of a Copic marker. So if that tells you anything, it tells you I love to color. I do get the question a lot, what is that? What is that on your hand? I mean, what is that on your arm? I'm just going to put a teeny bit on her little cheek. Just a little bit. It is the one tattoo I have that you can see. Did I use 3? I think I used 3. Now it's time to use N2. That you could see right here. See? The Copic marker on my arm. So, I like it because I put it on there. This release, I can use these animals in my scrapbook for my granddaughter who is 3. Yes, you can. It's perfect. I mean, these could be so cute for little baby cards and little, welcome baby and stuff like that. These would be really great. The reason I didn't do people with this release and I went with animals was because it's the holiday time and I wanted you to be able to use these images for something other than just where your mind goes first. So I wanted people to think about all the universal uses, and that makes it a little bit easier to buy one stamp that you can use universally for a lot of stuff than it is to buy a specific type of stamp. I'm big on that, so that's the way I kind of generally do my stamps. I think we haven't done any yet. It's not December yet, so I haven't done any of my cool, transform my stamps into things that are Christmassy because it's only December, but there are going to be times when I'm going to pull the stamps that I've drawn so far and somehow transform them into a holiday stamp set. So I noticed that now that we got this far, look how smooth that skin looks singing happy birthday. Yes, exactly. And I did put some really good sentiments in there that fall for other occasions too. Music heals the soul. So some, if you're sad or if you're down, just lose yourself in song. I like that. So some for encouragement, some for get well, some that would fall for birthdays. Then there's one for Christmas. So quite a few different ways you can use the images. So this is the N1, and just to get a smooth look and a little bit lighter look, I'm just doing a pass over one time with that N1 to get that really smooth, like nice look. I buy so many stickers. I try to use my images I get. My daughter loves stickers, so she thinks the images I use are, does she think they're stickers? Are stickers, so it's a win for me. Yes, that's awesome. You know, you can buy that sticker paper. Also, you could use masking tape and color on it and then stick it on something and it'd be a sticker. That's kind of cool too. But if you have double-sided sticky tape, you can buy it in sheets or a roll. I have a great big roll of it. You can make anything you color, just put the paper on top of the double-sided sticky. When you cut it out or die cut it out, you end up with a sticker. So it works. I mean, the kids could love that. Yes, his tail. I know, I was just looking at that. I was like, oh, darn it. I missed the tail. Okay, so here we go. This is back to the N6 for her tail because it looks more like a girl. And then N4 on the underside. And then I think I'm only going to go down to N3 for the tail since the ear is over top of it. And we're just going to color that in. There we go. So cute. It looks like the background was just made that way, doesn't it? It looks really good. I like all the shiny on it. I'm trying to get it to show up on here, but it's a little bit hard on camera. Oh, there we go. See how much shine there is to that? Those sprays are really cool. And they did dry enough for us to be coloring on it. So I think what I'm going to do is the skin on all the animals, and then we'll come back with what color we want to do their clothes. I can do that too. Great idea. Oh, yeah. Yeah, do that for sure, because then she makes our own stickers. It's like super exciting. So this is an alligator. And we do have a little bit of green on here, but it's a little bit of a brighter green than what I would normally do the alligator. So we're going to do him pretty bright tonight. I'm thinking maybe a BG color and a green color. So let me grab some of this scratch paper so I can try to match up this color a little bit. And maybe we'll make our tiger, we can make them any color, so maybe we'll make our tiger a little bit of this blue color. And we'll do green. I think the green that I want to use, so I'll show you. This time I'm going to use this. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I am going to use it tonight. So maybe I'll go with like a G19 as my darkest one. These are G colors. I don't use that often. And then maybe I want to go to YG09. And then I do want a bit of the BG in there, so I'm going to go to BG34. And then I want it to get lighter, but I want it to go back to green. So I think I'm going to go with G14. And then we'll see what color that turns out to be. And if it's too dark, we'll add one more color layer. So that's kind of how I pick them. I just kind of look at what I want. And then I make sure that they blend well together. So that was the G19. This is the YG09. Then the BG34, which is going to get us a little bit closer to that color. See how that matches up right there? Kind of has both of them in there. And then G14, that one's going to be more green. So that one kind of overpowers the blue-green, so I don't think I want to use that one. I think maybe a lighter one. Like maybe, I wonder if G20 would work. It's kind of a big jump from this one to G20, but let's check it out. And we'll try G20 or we'll try YG41. So this is G20. Not quite dark enough to blend. It doesn't blend at all. And YG41, yeah, that brings it back to green, but still you can see the blue in there. So I think YG41 is the one that we'll go with, and I'll put the G20 away. So that's going to be our alligator. We might as well, while we're at it, we might as well pull our blue for him. So I think I'm going to go with, let's look at, we'll just do it like this again. I want something that has a little bit of a, like a BG color in it, but not real G, just a light BG. And then I also want a darker blue. So I think maybe B26. I don't want it to be too dark. So B26, and then maybe, I mean, I want to kind of get to probably this one. BG05. We might only have 3 colors on this one. So this is BG05. And that's that one. And then maybe we'll go to, maybe B02 might work. And then for the stripes, I'm going to use one of these darker, really, really dark, B39 probably. And I'm just going to do it all in one color. So this is what my stripes are going to be, the B39. And then his skin is going to be B26 with BG05. That's pretty good. I like those colors together. And then B02 will come back to blue, a little less of the, but see, those look, I think those look really good with this blue piece. So now we have our colors for our tiger and our gator. So we can go ahead and color those. If you didn't know how to use that, that hex chart, that's the Sandy Allnock hex chart. SandyAllnock.com hex chart. She has them for all the, almost all the alcohol markers. So depending on what you have, you just roll with that. I'm going to do the gator next. So here's my G19. I love the gator, by the way. I almost did him barefooted, but then I changed my mind at the last minute. So he has a shirt and pants on. So just his arms, and you can't see the stripe from his the end of his shirt because it's under his guitar. And then he's got a little neckline right here. I'll probably put that in his little tail. And then we have to work on his face. And I want this part of his face to be lighter. So I'm going to work with the darker part being up here in the center. Right here. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as we get some color in there. And then maybe a little bit on this back side right here, just to keep that darker going. And I might put a teeny bit right here along this edge of his nostrils and his face. That's going to be my darkest color. And then I'm going to go to YG09. And we're just going to keep going, just extending that out. It's going to start changing the color to a little bit brighter color. I think for the packaging, I did much darker, not as bright. So I like the changing it up when I go live from what was on the packaging. I don't want to do the same thing that's on the packaging unless you guys want me to. But I like this switching it up because then you have a picture to look at when you buy the stamp set. And then you have lives to watch to see how you can mix it up. Okay, so we have a lot of this color down below. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling in around like the cheeks and, you know, just kind of doing some of the around the outside so the face can look like it's starting to get filled in just like the body did. Go a little bit down. I am going to put a little bit of rosy cheeks because everybody's always a little bashful when they're on stage. Right here. There's going to be some shadow coming from that little snout he's got going on there. And then I'm going to work a little bit in here. We're not going to go to the lightest colors for this part. This part's going to stay a little bit darker, so I'm filling in quite a bit more on that. Probably the last row will have that dark color. Then I'm going to do around the outside on these eyes, just to make sure we have a dark enough color on the outside. There we go. So I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot more. I might do a teeny bit like along his little lip area right here, just so it starts looking like it is curved. And now we're going to change to that BG color, but before we do that, I want to put a little bit on his cheeks, but since he's a boy, I'm going to use the R00, so it's really, really light. I'm going to go ahead and put it down now, so we can cover it up and sort of make it a lot less vibrant when we get there. So we'll do the same thing with the little tiger. Oops. We don't want to put the green cap on the R00. Okay. Now this is the BG34. It looks like he has lipstick on it. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to start filling in the fingers, leaving just little small areas for the lightest color because there's only one more color left. Going around the edges of that, kind of changing his tone just a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to do more on his face with this one. We're going to finish up this because we don't want to put the last color in there. We want to keep that kind of dark right here as well. And then I am going to go like in from the eyes, get a little closer to the eyeballs. Same thing with this one. This did kind of change up that color a bit, you can tell, just by adding that BG color in there. And I like it. I don't know what you guys think, but I really like this color combination. I mean, sometimes I don't know if I've used it, if I've used this color combination before, because I don't always write them down. I have been choosing some favorites of mine to work on for the upcoming retreat, which there should be news on very soon, so stay tuned. There we go. So I have been working, you'll get a whole book of all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, YG41. And this one goes back to the greenish color. And it's pretty light, so it kind of blends like really nicely. I'm not going to touch the center. I want it to stay darker. Do you need something? Oh, you got it. Okay. All right. And then along this way right here. I've had guests in my craft room since I got home, so I haven't had to like watch TV and stuff by myself. It's been so nice. So just putting some more of this color in there everywhere, just to keep those colors the same. If you decide you think it's too light, you can add some of the dark in again. I think we lost a little bit of the dimension, so I'm going to go in a little bit more with this YG09, like around the edges, just to deepen that up a bit. And I'll skip the BG color, and I'll just come in with that last color to soften it up a bit. I don't want to do too much. I just want to put a little bit in there. I might, maybe we'll do a little bit with these little eyebrows right here. Give him a little style going on there. He's super happy. And then we'll go back to our YG41 to soften that up because it's too harsh line now. And just work that line until it softens. Because it's a pretty big jump from the 09 to the YG41. So you just have to go over it a couple of times to kind of darken that up. But that worked out really nicely. I like that. I'm going to do this just a tad bit more. I'm going to come down here and just put an extra coat of this one, which will make it just one shade darker than what it was before. And then I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think once we get everything else colored, it's going to look really, really cute. And it's going to be just fine with the color it is right now. All right, that's the greens. And we'll probably use like these greens on that one's clothes and these blues on that, you know, because we're going to mix it up trying to stick with the same type of colors. So I'm going to skip now over to this guy. This is B39. And what I'm going to do is put just this dark in all of these little stripes that this tiger has. This is the darkest color that we picked, so B39. I could put, you know, some shadow areas on these, but they're so little that I would just say pick the darkest color and do them in that. It's just a lot less painful. And still, I think it's going to look just great, even with the different colors. I'm not really putting this color anywhere else, just in the stripes, because I want them to really stand out. And then he has a couple of them on his hands. Well, you can't see the other ones because his hand's hidden. And then on the tail. Like this. And then look how cute he looks with all those little stripes. You got kicked off again? Ugh. If I move to doing some of these videos on YouTube, are you guys going to follow me? You going to follow me to YouTube? Not all of them. I'll still do them here. I'm going to jump to this N4 that we used for the elephant to do this little bit of hair in here. I've been thinking about doing a few of them on YouTube. And I think I'll do the nose in this gray as well. And then I'm going to skip from N4 to N2 to finish off those little areas of fur. I mean, it could have made them blue, but... There we go. Yes, 100%. Woohoo! Okay, great. because I feel like it would be grabbing new people out there. Everybody watches YouTube, jumps on them when they pop up a little bit more than Facebook. So I'm hoping doing a couple of them over there might be helpful to our channel. Okay, B26. This is the one where we're going to start building in the shadows. So wherever you want the shadow to be, but I don't want it to be too dark anywhere because of the stripes. I want them to kind of stand out. So I'm just going to put this darkest color in the really deep shadow areas. And we could have put pink in the ears, but I think we're going to skip that this time just because why not be a little bit different? All right. Let's see. Do I want to do any there? No. I think I'll do his like his little chest area. And I don't really think I'm going to do his hands at all, but I am going to do a little bit along the bottom of the tail. Just a little bit. Now we're going to skip to that BG05, and a lot of it will be BG05, and then we'll have a highlight area after that. So we're going to start really extending. This guy is going to be much lighter than I originally thought. But I'm okay with that. I am really okay with that. I kind of like them in these bright colors. They look super happy and happy, shiny animals. Just playing in this super fun band they have going on here. There we go. I just saw a stripe I missed. Sometimes when I do this a little bit more realistic, I'll do like the fur, you know, to give it the texture. But tonight, I'm just going to do it fun. Just for the fun of it. Just to show that you don't have to color the tiger in orange-ish colors, and you don't have to color the alligator in dark green colors. You can do whatever colors you want. Don't be afraid to make different color animals. And in case you didn't remember, we did I did make the shaker bits teal tigress, so that it would match with this blue guy really well. Okay, I'm going to try to go in between all of these without like washing out my dark blue color. I think I'll be okay. As long as I don't spend a lot of time like going back and forth, like rubbing out the color, I think we'll be okay. So I'm just kind of touching that in between type phase. And I don't want that to be a harsh line. So I am going to do a little bit down here just to soften that up just a teeny bit, because we only have one more color. And that should be good. And then we're going to do I'll probably just finish the neck off with that one. We got to get a little bit of his hand over here. This one. And a little bit on the tail. I think I'm going to do sort of towards the bottom of the tail, and the top of the tail we'll use the last color on. All right, I like this blue tiger. I was a little bit nervous, just a teensy bit, about doing a blue tiger, but I'm liking it. So this is the B02, which kind of brings it back to a bit more of the blue. Still keeps a little bit lighter at the top of the tail using this other color. And then we're just going to have to be real careful around those stripes, because if you just go over top of them, they're a dark color and it'll pull that color right into your tiger's face. So You want to be a little bit careful with that. When you're doing it, you want to be a little bit careful around all those dark colors. Now, you could do the dark colors last, but I was really trying to give myself a feel for what it was going to look like, so I did them first. There we go. We go around the nose. This from right here. Make that meet up. I don't think I'm going to put pink on his cheeks after all. I don't think he needs it. I think he's bright enough just the way he is. And he has his own little pattern on his face. So I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. Now, if I wanted to do this a girl, I could give her eyeshadow and all kinds of cool stuff. So we could make these look pretty neat. Could go all out with these little guys. So definitely play around when you get yours. We need to fix this nose area right here. I wonder if my daughter knows that we can hear her singing. Can you guys hear her singing? I can't tell if you can hear her or not, but I can definitely hear her over the phone from the living room. So funny. Okay, I think I'm going to do his pants in these darker blue colors. So I'm going to go with the B39. And I'm going to do his pants. We're going to give him a really cool guitar, so I'll probably have to pull some colors for that. That was the B39. Then I'm going to go to B26. I think I'm going to try to do some of this like the color of my hair kind of purple for the guitar, because how cool would that be? Purple guitar.
Oh, that's cute.
He's looking pretty fancy. I think I'm going to leave the BG05 out, and I'm going to put the B02. That way it keeps it more blue. And we'll do tip to tip, because we're probably going to have to, because it's not going to blend as well, because we don't have the 5. But we can do this, and we'll get the color that we need. Perfect. See how that worked out? Very nice. All right, so that gave us the blue pants that I kind of wanted. That was great. I'm very happy about that. We are going to have to pick some yellows and golds, you know, because we have a ton of that in this paper. So we're going to need that for sure. Okay, so I think for him, we'll do his shirt in the green colors. So I'm going to pull those green colors out. Again, we're going to make his shirt darker than we made the green over here. So G19, we're going to start with G19. I told you we were going to mix up these colors. So when we did the G19 before, we weighed heavily on the lighter colors, but over here we're going to weigh more heavily on the darker tones, so that even though they're the same markers, they're going to look a bit different. Now all the rest of that is all saxophone, except for this little spot right there. All of that is saxophone. So we're not going to do any of that in this color. Then I'm going to grab YG09. I'm going to leave just a tiny area for highlight color. I like this greenish color we got going on here. Nothing's better than liking the colors you picked. There we go. Maybe this is all hidden down here in shadow, so I'll just finish that off. We'll just have a few little areas with the lightest color. So we're going to go to YG41. And we're going to leave out the BG color because that one has a little bit more blue in it. And I want to keep this a little bit more green. And they blended pretty well, so I think we're okay. No tip to tip necessary. So we'll just have to work that area a little bit more to make sure we have a smooth blend. But I think we can get there. There we go. So now he has his cute little green shirt. So for her it was gray. So let's do his pants. We'll do his pants gray. So I'll start with the N6. And we'll do his little pants gray. I know he's right up against her, so I'm going to try to stick with a little bit darker grays. Like a little bit more of the darkest color. A little bit less of the lighter colors. And behind her ear. And then I'm going to do the soles just because I need to get those done. I'm going to build one at the bottom of this one. There's not really one there. There we go. And then the next color I had was N4 in that N sequence. So I'm going to finish off these pants with N4. Because I don't want it to get too light. I want it to be darker than the elephant. Just think, you could mask and stamp the same image over and over again. Like my initial thought was to give you two of these guys and I was going to make them like backup singers. But I was like, why waste the space on two elephants when you can layer the elephants and get as many singers as you want? Maybe one night we'll do all different color singing elephants. I'm trying to think of what color I want to make those shoes and that shirt. The saxophone has to have some goldish yellow tone to it. And actually it's pretty, these are a little bit in the gold range, so I think we can get away with that. Let's try these and see how it goes. This is Y28, 26, YR23, and Y23. Let's see how that goes. So this one's the one that's going to get you the more of the rustic look, the Y28. And some of this is going to have a little bit of black on it. So, I mean, yeah. So we'll get there when we get there. We'll have to pull that color out again. I'm going to go with these all shadowed areas down here. Same with here. We're going to go over this with the different color. Like this. And right here. Okay. And that gets us a little bit of that darkest color. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do his shirt in this yellowish color. And I think maybe we'll just do her shirt in like a bright pink. That way she separates nicely. And we'll do the guitar like a pink and purple kind of color. That way those two will tie in as well. So I'm going to put some of this gold in here. There we go. I haven't decided on the microphone yet. We'll just see what color we need to finish up the image when we get done with everything else. And then we can decide what color we want that to be. So this one's going to brighten it up to a little bit more gold-ish color now. So we're kind of going over some of the other color that we have, but we're not going over all of it because we want, we definitely want to use the brighter yellow. We may have to pull in my favorite Y11, but we'll see. There we go. Then we'll come over here and we'll do it on this shirt as well. They're kind of going a little bit fast because there's not a lot of space, so you can do it all at one time. You don't have to like wait because you want to keep the paper wet because it'll stay wet while you work on this other area because it's such a small area. There we go. Then we're going to switch to the YR23. This one is pretty bright, so I'm not going to use it for a lot, and I'm probably not going to use it on his shirt, but I am going to put a little bit of this in here in a couple of places. I'm going to put some at the bottom of these, the little buttons or whatever that you use when you're playing the saxophone. Don't know what they're technically called, but put a little bit here. And we're going to skip this on that shirt over there. Let me just make sure this is a good enough yellow. It's kind of a creamy yellow, so we are going to need the Y11 to go with it, I think. Maybe on the shirt, not on the saxophone. I think the saxophone will be fine with this color. Just kind of, when you hide it behind something like this, you don't really have to be all that detailed. As long as you have a couple of different colors in there, it's gonna play out exactly what it looks like. So that's kind of helpful. We're gonna brighten this shirt up with that Y11 in a minute. So it's not going to stay as dark like the saxophone. I think I might put this just on these little buttons. Or maybe shine them up a little bit. But we're definitely going to put it all over in this shirt. That way it kind of brightens it up, but not too much. Can you see the difference? It's much more yellow-ish than gold-ish. There we go. Perfect. I like it. I'm liking it so far. A little bit different colors than I normally do, but look at how good it looks with this background. It's like the perfect colors on there. So now we have all of those. So I think we need to do their shoes. Let's just use the ends that we already have out. So we'll use N3 and 1. So we can have light colored, almost white shoes. So I'm going to use the N3 and just put a little shadow in there.
You want to walk back or right back?
Okay, and then the N1 will finish off the shoes. See, using the same colors but mixing them up gives you so much. That's why you don't have to own them all unless you have full set syndrome like me. And then you feel like you have to have them all no matter what. I think we're going to make her microphone something super cute and cool too. And we will need a little bit of black on the guitar, but we're not there yet. So let's just go with the typical colors I like for the guitar. So I'm going to use these, and then I want to use something pinkish. So I think I'm going to go with 17, 14, maybe 13. Let's look at these colors together. See what we think. So this is V17. It's a purple. Then this is V06, which gives you that bright.
Yeah, I have to call him.
This one
That's his
is
number.
V15. I think we are going to need that V09 though. I was going to leave it off, but I changed my mind. We need V09 for the darkest color, so I think that works really nicely. And then to go with it for the rest of the guitar, I think we're going to use RB17. Then this one is 14.
Yeah.
And this one is 13.
Thanks, babe.
And we'll put those two together and make a really cool looking guitar. And we'll also use these colors for her outfit. So we'll probably put a pattern on her little dress, because how good is that? It's coming together now with the yellow and gold color. Yes, for sure. Definitely. I agree. We only have one set of eyes to do, so we're good on that. Here we go with the purple. I want to do this part of the guitar first. So we're going to do the edge of the guitar in this darkest purple color. And maybe just for grins, we'll actually make his little spikes purple too. And then I'm going to do like this thing right here. I don't know what these are technically called on a guitar, but I do know what a guitar looks like because my daughter has a couple of these guitars. So I know what they look like. I know what they're kind of like. This is the end of the guitar, like that part up at the top that you can't see because it's behind everything. Then we need B17 to start building that outside area. This inside this is going to be pink. So I'm going to go around the outside of it with the purple. I know it seems like crazy colors. It's not normally the colors that I pick, but that's what makes these kinds of lives so much fun, is that you can change up the color, and it's not like watching me do my favorite same colors over and over again. So I try to use all of my Copic markers. So if I notice I've been using the same color too many times, I'll not use that one for a little while so I can get good use on all of them. That way I don't have any dry out or get messed up and don't realize it's happening. This one definitely needs to be cleaned. This one is B06. So this one kind of moves it into a little bit more of that like my hair purple and fuchsia. That's what this is gonna look like. Look at this colored guitar. I don't even think I'm going to use the last color. I think I'm going to stop with this one because look at how pretty that is. I really like that. Even though this is already colored in, I'm going to add just because this is a different tone. And I want you to be able to see both of them in there. There we go. And I am going to finish it off with this color. We're also going to do these things right here that are on the guitar. And then I'm going to go like around his fingers a little bit because we need a background color in here. And I want it to be lighter, but have a little bit of a shadow there. So I put just a little bit of that in there. Hey, Mom. There you are. I was wondering where you were. Look at you saying hi to everybody. I thought today was Wednesday. Don't worry, we all do that now and then. V15 is the one that I'm going to use for this lighter area right here, just so it's different than the rest. So it kind of stands out a little bit. I'm going to put an extremely light coat in here because we got to double layer that with pink when we do the inside piece with pink. So I'm going to go with this darkest pink, which is the RV17. And I'm going to go around the edges with that one. Like this. Not going to go over the stripe area yet. There we go. A little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit there. Then we're going to switch it up, and now it's going to get really bright, like much brighter pink. And then we'll do her dress pink because we have less pink on the guitar. And maybe we'll put like some, I don't know, bubbles or flowers or something on her dress. We'll get stripes or I don't know what, but something. So that she has a little bit of a design. I don't want to do too much light on this area. I want to keep it kind of dark so it sort of meshes with that purple really well. Yes, I bet they do, Mom. I bet they do. Your days get messed up driving back and forth. Yep, I bet they do. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit of this lighter pink with that purple. So it looks like it's overlapped. Pink and purple right there. Kind of changes the tone up a little bit. I did forget to do the rest of his little tails, so I'm going in with this V15 and just kind of finishing off those little spikes. Look at that, so cute. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so these little circles right here, I'm just going to touch that center of the circle with this darkest purple. And then I'll come in with the lightest purple, which is V15, and kind of finish the knobs off. So there's no white there. I think the white looked too funny. So there we go. And then we're going to do her dress in the pink. So I'm going to start with V17. It's going to look like I'm not really doing any pattern on her dress, but I will when I'm done with the purple. I will use the purple. But I'm going to have such a light color on her dress, I'll be able to go right over top of it with the purple. So much you can do on this dress. I almost put a pattern on it, but decided to leave the pattern off so you could build your own pattern. Because that's what makes it fun. Sometimes you gotta let it go for somebody else to like play around with it and decide what they want to do. If I put stripes in this or dots or circles or whatever, then you're stuck to that when you color, unless you do no lines coloring and use a darker color. Then you can cover it up, but if not, you can't. Just extending out a little bit more. And now you can see this pulls in the pink from that, which looks really good. We have a lighter pink, RV13. This one should finish it off, and then we'll add something, some kind of design on there. I thought about putting a star from the stamp set, but that's not as fun as building your own. This is the RV13. Takes just a couple of coats going over it to get rid of those lines, but it's pretty easy. You can see it's blending together really nicely now. We'll probably need one more sweep over it. I'm going to do the sleeves first. And then we're just going to go over this one more time, just to smooth it out. And there we go. That smoothed it out very nicely. We still have a really light spot right there. There we go. All right, now for the dress, I think, let's test. Do we want to use V06? No. We want to use V09. I knew we were going to need V09. Yep. So we can do like little flowers. I'll show you how to do that. So if you rotate the paper like this, and you just touch the side, the pen, you can make your own little like flower or, you know, design on there, and you just put them wherever you want. Just use the side of the marker and just rotate it around until you get what you need. And then do some off of the paper. So if I turn this around, I could do it like this. You need some of it to go off of the outfit because material doesn't have them perfect everywhere. So you definitely have to like do them in different spots. It's just making your own. And you can do it with just that many sides, or you can do it with the more side. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you. It's your design. I'm going to do one coming up off of this sleeve. Like that. And then we'll do one going this way. And that looks super cute. But then we can also go in with... I'm going to go in with the V06 that we tested earlier, and I'm just going to put spots around. Just different size spots. And you want some of them to go off of the outfit as well. That way her outfit is it's very decorative. She looks really cute. Okay. And let's do her little nails in pink. So I'm going to use the RV14, and I'm going to do that just around the edges. We'll come back in with the 13 and mix it together. So around the edges. Then we'll come back in with the RV13 from the top down. And then her little nails will look painted so pretty. There we go. Very cute. Very, very cute. Okay, I think that the microphone is going to be dark blue instead of black. So I think we're going to use the B39 around the edge. Like that. And then I'm also going to put it around here. And start going up the microphone and down. You can just do the whole thing if you want. I'm going to do it two-tone, but you can do it all one color if you want. It's up to you. I'm going to do the underside darker. These stripes. This is what's holding the microphone in place. And then we have this little center part that goes over the microphone. And then I'm going to come in with the B26. And I'll probably add one more color to the bottom of this. But for now, we're going to stick with this for this part right here. You don't want to rush that because if you go outside the lines, you can't really fix it with that ink that we already put on this background. For those that are jumping in late, that is Distress ink sprays and mica ink sprays, Distress mica ink. So that is what we used to do the background on this. So if you missed that, you can watch the replay and catch that as well. Now it's going to go to BG05. I am going to use the BG this time. I'm going to blend that out. I am going to go one time across there to kind of lighten that up. I'm going to go here, blend this together and this. Hold the microphone, get that color blended out nicely, and then we're going to do this part of the mic so you can see the whole mic. There we go. I like that blue. I'm glad we decided to do it blue. This is so cute. Okay, so we're gonna need a multi-liner, that's for sure, without a doubt. And we need to do his eyes. But for this multi-liner, I'm gonna go on here and do her eyes a little bit darker so they stand out just a little bit more. And I'm also gonna do these little eyelash flicks going on here. So her eyes stand out a little more and she looks a little brighter there. I like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. We want them to look very happy. Now this part was supposed to be black, so I'm just going to color it with the multi-liner. I'm also going to do some of these buttons up here that were supposed to be black on there, just so we have that covered. And then we're not going to do his eyes just yet because I have to do the color on his eyes before I can do the black. Otherwise I might smear it. Okay, so for the eyes, let's go with the blue and blue-green. So let's do the BG05. Let's see how this goes. I don't know if this is going to be, you know, the right color eyes, but we're about to do it anyway. So this is BG05. I want his eyes to stay kind of bright colored. So that's that one. And then I want to switch to BG34, which is kind of one of those colors we used on the body. So it'll tie into that. And then the bottom one, what's the lightest blue I have out here? I don't think this is going to be light enough. This is B02. Nope, not light enough. So what I'm going to do is switch to a gray. I'm going to go with the N1. This is like limiting myself to only these markers. So I'm going to do the N1 in there. And look at how neat that looks. Just smooth out that color so it comes together. Those look really cool. That turned out nice. And I'll show you how much better it looks when you use the multi-liner. So here we go. I'll do one eye first so you can see the difference between the two. See how much better that eye looks? It like really, really stands out. I think I'm going to do a couple of these little areas right here that I want to be just a tad bit darker too. I'm not going to do them real detailed. I'm just going to get like this solid part that's in the mouth. And then what I'll do is just kind of a little bit of a flick up in between those teeth. I'm not going to be real detailed with it because that's not necessary. I just want the inside of his mouth to look darker. I mean, look how much better that looks. It's great. And then I'm going to do it with this one as well because it is black. I want that to be just a tad bit darker. See how much better those look? Now hers is not colored in, so I'm not going to mess with that one. But I do like how much better these look with a little bit of extra black touch. There. Those eyes are cool. I like them. They're lighter than I normally do, but I like them. Okay, now we can't color over that ink because that would be so bad for the marker, so we are not going to do that. I am going to use the white gel pen, but not yet. I'm going to zoom out so I can finish the card up and you guys can see what I'm doing. And remember, we chose this color card base, this one here. I'm going to fold it in half. I take this here. I'm going to need my trimmer. I'm not worried about that little bend because you're not going to be able to see it when I get done anyway, so why bother stressing about it? Then we need a card on the inside, because you know we do that every single time. And don't forget we got Barely Art glue in the shop, so you definitely want to get that if you don't have it, because it is amazing. Favorite glue. I have cards that I made several years ago with the Barely Art glue, and they are still stuck together. I did the same thing with a tape runner, and all my pieces fell off after about a year or so. So keep that in mind. It is, you can use it in a scrapbook as well. It is, what do they call that you have to have? Hold on, I'll find it on here. Just photo safe. It says photo safe on here. So you can definitely use it for that. It says lasts for years. I've tested it. I think it's the truth. So I had cut this one down quite a bit so we have enough room for like a little border around it, because I feel like it gets a little bit lost if you just do it like this. So I feel like we definitely need this, and I think this corner is the best because then we get all the colors all the way around. So I'm going to trim this one. And I know I did this at 3 7/8, this one. So I can do it at 4 1/8. This way. And then this way, I don't want as much gold as I want the blue and stuff. And I know I did this one at, let's see, I did this one at 5 1/8, so I can do it at 5 3/8. And it should work. It should give me a little bit larger border, which is what I want. And it should give me a teeny blue border around the edge here. So yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Look at that bright color popping out of there. I love it. You love that glue? Me too. Yeah, because Mom came by and picked up her stuff yesterday. So she got her Barely Art glue. I would say the only thing I would do different when I do this next time is I would build a little bit of a platform. Since I can't use my marker on there, there's no like standing platform. I would have liked a little shadow under there, but I can't really do that with this color. But I think I'm going to trim just a tad bit more because I want to see more of that outline color. I really, really like it. So I'm trimming like 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. So I definitely want 1/8 of an inch off of the sides as well. And I tend to do a little bit off of one side and a little bit off the other, but it looks like right now I currently have a little bit more to his tail than I do to his tail. So I'm just going to do it off this side. And then that gives us just a bit more of the color around the outside, which I think is perfect. I'm also going to round these edges just to switch it up a bit. It'll just give it a little bit of a different look. It'll be like looking through a window, almost like a TV kind of. I'm going to glue this one. So here's the stage paper. You could actually put your characters on stage if you wanted. Put your superheroes on these if you bought the superheroes when they were out. If not, they're still available in the shop, but they would look great on these papers as well, I think. So that fits on there. Great. Now, before we put this one down, I wanted to put some music notes on there to kind of fill in some of the space. Yeah, you like that? I like that too. So I had my music notes out. They're right here. And since we didn't use a lot of black and we used more blue, I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair blue color to make my little notes around that they're singing.
Did you get an update?
Wait a minute. I want to stand up. Put this underneath my butt.
No, we need more snacks. Okay, so we're going to come over here and just stamp these on. And I'm just going to wing them because, you know, they can't be that hard to do. They're just music notes.
Okay, thanks.
This one will probably go off the canvas a little, which is okay. I just want to make sure I wipe it up before I stick my paper in it or my hand. And I have the double music notes, and then I also have the single music notes, so we're going to use that one as well.
Sure.
Please.
So we have
I think I took my...
this one. I think the music notes really make it shine. I think I'm going to put one over here. So we want the music going all around them everywhere. And I think I'll do just the base of a music note, like right. I'm going to do it like kind of crooked so it's just kind of off the page a little bit. Like that. That way I have an odd number of music notes. They're everywhere. I like it. That makes me happy. My sentiment will go down at the bottom. Oh, and we could use this for the sentiment as well. So I'm going to glue this on there now. I mean, look at how cool this is. We made the whole background and everything. I like this card. I don't know which sentiment I want to use. I like the sentiments in this set. I mean, I should. I wrote them, so. But I like how universally used they can be. I don't want to smear anything, so I'm going to flip it over now that I have it in the spot I want it. I'm going to rub it with this press pop. If you don't have one of these, you probably should. This is one of the most used items in my craft room, other than the glue, because I use it for everything. If you watch me, there's not a night that goes by that I don't use that. For sure. Okay, now I just need to pick my sentiment. And where are my stamps? Where did I put them? I know. Here they are. I found them. Okay. So we have, we could say, you know, have a rockin' birthday, or have a rockin' good day, or we could say have a rockin' Christmas, or we could say music is the best medicine. I kind of like spreading cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And then there's also when times are tough, get lost in song, music heals the soul. But let's do spreading cheer, because that's kind of how I'm feeling right now, and it's a good size sentiment. I'll peel this one off, even though it still has ink on it. And I'll put this one on instead. Make sure I don't have it upside down. Upside down would be a bummer after doing the whole card. Yep, looks like I got the ink on there. I'm going to stamp it right here. And by the way, this VersaFine Claire is working really well on top of this sprayed ink now that it's dry. I'm not wiggling, I'm just pressing because I don't want to spread out the letters too much. Like, look at how perfect that stamp is. It's not blurry, it's not bleeding, it's like perfect. Spreading cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And then we need a little bit of sparkle, like shiny head lights or whatever. And I have a few of these. These were, by the way, given to me by my mom, who's watching. They are very, very shiny gemstones right here. I could use pink, but I think I'm going to go for just the plain ones. But they have so much sparkle to them that when you move it around, it's like a ton of sparkle. And I think they go great with this one. And I only need a few of them. I don't need a whole bunch. Just enough to get a little bit, as if all my other sparkle bling isn't enough. But you guys know I am mad crazy about all the sparkly stuff. So I think I want maybe that one there. And that way I only have 3. It works out great with the music notes. So I'm just going to use my glue to put them down. Oh, that glue blew a bubble and made a spot right on my card. So I guess I'm moving the location of this one a little bit. Come on, flip over. I hate when they act like that. There we go. Come on. Behave. I'm at the end of the card. Behave. Doesn't matter that I moved it around because I got some waxy stuff on top. Because all that dries clear, so I don't ever freak out about any of that. If I drop the glue somewhere or if it spreads out, it doesn't matter because it's going to dry clear and you're not going to be able to see it anyway. So it's kind of perfect. If I had teeny tiny ones of these, I'd probably add a couple more, but since they're so big and I don't have any small ones, I'm just going to stop with those 3. But when I move them around, you'll be able to see why I like them so much. They have a lot of sparkle to them. They have a lot of sparkle in real life, don't they? Phyllis, look at them. Over here. Look. Look at them over here. Look how much sparkle they have. It's a lot more sparkle than on the camera. I don't know why the camera can't see. It really is. Yeah. But that gives me a few sparkles. And then that is the card. I hope you guys like that. I hope you'll try. If you have the sprays, you should try them because look at all the shimmer that's on this background. It's super cool. And it wasn't that hard to layer it up. And I do like all the colors. I think all the colors are really fun. I also think that I'll probably cut a little bit of this, like a longer one that'll go along the bottom off of this extra piece of, because this is too thick. But I'll probably cut a smaller piece of this and put it on the inside just so I have a little bit of extra, you know, shiny fanciness on the inside. But I hope you guys like that. These are very simple images to color. The challenging, there's only one that's slightly challenging, and honestly, it's not really that bad. It's really almost easier and quicker to color than the others, is this one. And the thing is, it's just because it has all the skinny legs. But if you stamp it right on the paper and you aren't like trying to color around it, you're fine. No problem, but super easy to color these. Just little easy, simple characters that you can make whatever color you want, and they're super fun. And don't forget there's a free thing, and there's a free set of digital stamps in the shop, and they work really well with this. We will use them probably next week. They'll have a cake and candles, balloons, and party hats. We will totally use the party hats because I wanted them in the stamp set, but they wouldn't fit. So they are in the free digi. So I will show you guys. We'll do party hats and everything. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I will see you guys on Tuesday at 8 Central. And hopefully, if you have any questions, you'll reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Tuesday night. And if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're trying to grow our channel, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much, you guys. Have a great evening. And oh, yay, Cheryl. Okay, well, I'll PM you when we're done. And then everybody have a great evening, and I will see you next week. Good night.